And welcome back to a very special birthday. Who would win for Shahin? Oh dear. I'm just gonna say Shahin B, because I'm gonna butcher your name, dude. Let me give it one shot, just to say I gave the gold college try here. Baghadir Noor. Oh god, I'm so sorry. Yeah, Shahin B. Now I know you've been giving me suggestions for a while, wanting me to do specific suggestions, but to be fair, in terms of the order in which you come up, I already did one of yours a while back, and I've got hundreds of people give me requests, so sorry if yours takes a while. But it is your birthday, so obviously I figured I'd honor that by doing one that I know you would requested for the longest time, and that is Dormammu versus Asriel Dreamer. So Dormammu is an interdimensional being who basically lives in the dark dimension, or is from the dark dimension. He is made pretty much of pure cosmic energy, and he wants to conquer and control. His powers are numerous, and he's magical based, so he can cast just about any spell you can think of. He can manipulate flames specifically because he is a being kind of made out of cosmic flames. He's basically nigh invulnerable, nigh immortal. He can't truly die, at least not in a traditional sense. The millennia, however long he's existed worth of experience. Basically, not infinite amount of experiences. His strength is such that he can go toe to toe with individuals like Zeus. He's beaten Doctor Strange down multiple times. Actually, who did they say he was really comparable to Dormammu? Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Yeah, but in terms of raw power, he's an individual we don't talk about very much when we talk about Marvel's power tier, but he is considered more powerful than Lucifer, Marduk, Mephisto, and Satanish, and apparently served as the creator of the latter. He is sufficiently powerful enough that he can even take down individuals who are hosts of the Phoenix Force. No small feat. He has sufficiently magical power to hold his own against clashes with Agamotto, who's a spawn of one of Earth's elder gods, with power enough to stalemate Galactus, which means he, in theory, could stalemate Galactus. When the latter served as Marvel's first Sorcerer Supreme. The Vishanti regarded him as their prime enemy, and of the Sorcerer Supreme. He had the upper hand in a formal game of cosmic chess with Odin, but that ended in a draw as Odin wished. According to Loki, Odin speaks of Dormammu as an equal, but Dormammu considers him inferior. So at minimum, he's equivalent to someone like Odin. He has even dared to directly challenge eternity itself, and in one case even overcame the entity. Eternity being a true cosmic being. Dormammu even claims that he will destroy the Celestials during their burning them in the flames of Faltine. However, there are still limits to his might. For example, the demon known as Zorn has been referred to as more powerful than his sister Umar, and thus possibly himself, although his powers increased greatly on a few occasions since then. And after he effortlessly defeated Avengers and Defenders combined, including Thor and Doctor Strange, the Scarlet Witch, Scarlet Witch, a being with enough power to generate alternate realities and permanently shift the nature of the entire multiverse, used a hex on the evil eye of Avion that made it absorb the overconfident and distracted Dormammu. Dormammu is just messed up. I mean, sorcery over the flames of the Flatine. Raw magical energy capable of besting even wielders of the Phoenix Force. Again, a Nexus level being. Banishment, he can basically banish all from his domain, but only from his domain. Superhuman strength, possesses some degree of superhuman strength. He is capable of using magical powers to augment his strength to unknown degrees. Astral projection, matter transmutation, interdimensional teleportation and transportation, high-speed flight, transformation, elemental control, time travel. Though capable of this, he seems to drain Dormammu of his powers, causing him not to use it. Invulnerability, near immune to most physical and mystical harm. Size alteration, immortality, due to complete immune to aging. He has lived for thousands or even millions of years and never aged a day. Regenerative healing factor, his race is immune to disease, toxins, can recover from almost any injury, no matter how severe. Energy projection, obvious. Energy absorption, Resurrection, he can literally revive the dead. Super genius and master in hand-to-hand combat. Though his weaknesses do include overconfidence, among other things. But magical powers, his magical powers are stated and shown to weaken when on Earth or in any other dimension not of his own, failing to pierce Earth's 616's dimensional boundaries directly from the dark dimension when they were secured by the spell of Sorcerer Supreme. Even a temporary dimension aperture with other dimensions has been shown to weaken him, zapping him of his mystical prowess, sufficient that the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth's dimension could rival him in direct combat. Despite Dormammu's enormous power, Minor's mystical Staff of One has been claimed by the Dark Wizard of Minoris of the, God almighty these words, Gibborim, foreign pride, to be capable of making him tremble. What is the Staff of the One, just out of curiosity's sake? Staff of the One was a magical object so powerful that according to Tina Minoru, it made even the likes of Dormammu tremble. Sure, what's the properties of this thing? Staff is powered by magical blood, or by blood magic. To conjure and operate the staff, a blood offering must be made. This bleeding can be from a wound or a small cut, or even from menstruation. Good to know. Or bleeding gums. The amount of magic the staff can perform appears to be tied to the amount of blood offered. That is to say, the larger the sacrifice, the more potent the spell. Other factors that appear to affect the spell cast is clarity or intent. I mean, Jesus. But apparently this thing's so powerful that, yes, it could, in fact, scare the likes of someone like Dormammu. Anyway, Asriel Dreamer, was known actually not as Asriel Dreamer, but as Flowly. But however, in the Undertale series, one second, I'm just getting this up. In the Undertale series, basically what happened to him, as far as I can tell, is the biological taught. He served as the final boss and brother. Before the end, he was fallen human. Or he found the fallen human and was the first human to fall into the underground. Became the adopted sibling and best friend just before the humans died. The last wish was the golden flowers of a village on the surface. He then absorbed their souls, and the humans carried their bodies across the barrier. So ultimately, Asriel Dreamer got a hyper death, his final form, his final form in terms of what more or less what you're seeing is kind of what his final form ultimately looked like. In terms of what he was capable of doing, the way they're kind of explained in Undertale doesn't seem to really demonstrate how powerful they really are. But after absorbing 6 human souls and the souls of all monsters in the Underground, he transforms into Asriel Dreamer. Before the battle begins, he recognizes the protagonist as his adopted sibling, first human. He then morphs into an all-powerful being wanting to reset the timeline and start everything over again, meaning that his power seems to be on the level that he could possibly reset an entire timeline. The protagonist's soul gains the ability to refuse during this fight. The heart cracks but joins back together right afterwards, literally refusing. Asriel cannot kill the protagonist. The act button that also changes to save a few turns after Asriel enters his final form. To defeat Asriel, the protagonist calls the souls of their friend within Asriel to protect and defeat him, basically. After he saves all lost, Asriel's compassion, love, and hope return, and begins crying, and he then ends the fight and breaks the barrier. In terms of all his attacks, he can fire magic. He has Star Blazing, Starlight Projectiles, Shocker Breaker, Chaos Saber, Chaos Buster. All these are just bullets, blades, and energy blasts. And then there's 2 other ones. Hyper Goner, Asriel's final attack for beginning the fight at full power. The bullet board covers the entire screen for a large creature resembling a combination of DT Extraction Machine and Sand Signature Gaster Buster attack and his summoning. It then proceeds to laugh evilly and then create a powerful vortex that attempts to draw the protagonist's soul into the creature's mouth, along with a series of diamond-shaped objects that deal damage on contact. If the protagonist is hit during the attack, their HP drops to 1 regardless of their equipped items, and all succeeding attacks do no damage. The attack can be avoided, though. It is difficult to do so. After this, Asriel starts using his full power, initiating the final phase of the fight. And then the other one, Angel of Death, Asriel using his full power, However, Asriel using his full power. Yeah, this is weird phrasing. Asriel using his full power. However, his only attack in this form is a barrage of energy blasts, comets projected, launched from his fingertips that enter the bullet board from the side and home in the protagonist's soul in massive waves. So that being said, it's not stated though how he was going to restart this timeline. Admittedly, let me just see here. If he was going to do it through his own power, or was he going to do it through? Was he going to do it through some other means, like a Thanos finding the heart of the universe kind of thing? Let's see here. Epilogue, genocide route. Nurse calls lost all. Okay, so here's where he was about to try to reset the timeline. True discovers the first human while the humans were on the deathbed. Then he did not think was a good plan. Ultimately leads to betraying his siblings in their plan. Asriel greets the protagonist's name before he transforms into Dreamer God, God of hyperdeath. Informs the protagonist that he does not care about destroying the world anymore. Instead, he wants to reset the timeline so everything unfolds again in the beginning. Believes that the protagonist will continue even if he resets the timeline. So this tells me that because here's the thing, if he wanted to reset the timeline, he could have just done it. He could have just done it if he had the power to do it. This tells me he needed external forces to add on to his power to do so. Otherwise, he's still very powerful. But the problem here I'm seeing is these are two very powerful magical entities. But one is a being who was kind of turned into said being magical entity and started out mortal, whereas one is just kind of an immortal cosmic demon. So it kind of shows you the different playing fields they're on. One's an interdimensional cosmic demon, the other is not. The other has many magical abilities, to be sure, but even his magical abilities, for instance, the what was the name of the attack? The hyper mode? Yeah, hyper goner. It probably actually wouldn't do anything to Dormammu because Dormammu just isn't designed like a normal human who could be affected by that attack. And even his full power, like Angel of Death, is just firing like energy magic comets, which Dormammu can easily just negate. The problem I'm seeing with Asriel Dreamer's abilities, attacks, and everything in between is that it's nothing that Dormammu himself can't do. Now, the catch here, though, is if the fight were to somehow take place in the Dark Dimension, if it were, Dormammu wins, hands down, no problem, without a sweat. But if Dormammu is not in the Dark Dimension, he is significantly weaker. So the question then becomes, is he someone who, once weakened, could be taken down by someone like Asriel Dreamer? And I don't think he is, because even weakened, it still takes someone like the Sorcerer Supreme to take him down, and using a lot of what the Sorcerer Supreme has to offer. It's like, I go all out, I wouldn't be able to match this guy at all. But if we weaken this guy, I go all out, we're kind of stalemated and I can eke a win out. It's kind of those scenarios. So, and I have no doubt that someone like Doctor Strange or like Agamotto, the original Sorcerer Supreme, someone like that, is also capable of taking down Asriel Dreamer because they are still vastly more superior magicians or sorcerers than what we see here or with Asriel Dreamer's abilities, because really, magic isn't just firing attacks. There's subtleties to it. There's sealing someone away. There's mental magic. There's astral magic. There's soul magic. There is obviously physical magic. There is energy magic. There is spatial magic, time magic. There's so many different types of spells that Dormammu can do that Asriel just doesn't have and doesn't have an answer for. So, at the end of the day, I go Dormammu in this fight. But that is just my opinion. What do you think in the comments below? Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, who wants to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. I'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you folks later.